Happy Saturday, everybody. I am back. I'm going to try and do a quick tutorial of my putting this tag together for those of you that might be interested. So I just did my Saturday Morning Makes episode, and I shared these tags using the tea time or teacup die sets from my creative time. And Caroline had asked what die set I used when I made the original tags a couple years ago. And I don't know what I did with the original tag now. It's missing from my desk. Oh, here it is. So I had made this tag a couple years ago using a die set from Elizabeth Craft Designs, which many of you probably have, called Teacup. And it came with the little, these little pieces in it. And I added Anna White's cute cookie dies, which come in two sizes, a larger version and a smaller version, as well as a spoon from one of her other mug sets, which are still available at Impression Obsession. But anyway, this teacup die that I had used was retired by Elizabeth Craft Designs, and Caroline was asking about this die, and I thought, I'm pretty sure I can recreate this tag using die sets that I have in my stash, and I have teacup dies from my creative time. So that's what I did, in case you didn't see Saturday Morning Makes. And so this is how it turned out. I made a snowman one, and then I also made some that look almost identical. They're just slightly different in size. That's the main thing. They're a little tiny bit smaller. But I did add a little pair of the glasses from this fun eyeglass die set from Peachy Keen Stamps. After I got off camera, I put glasses on a couple of the little tags that I made. Just so you could see what the eyeglasses look like on here too. And I think those are so cute. Oh my gosh. So I did that after I got off camera, so I thought I would show you those too. But let's go ahead and put a tag together. I'm going to kind of move these off to the side a little bit so that I have room to work. Just a reminder, anytime you're watching a video, if you're watching on your phone, you can use your fingers to zoom in. So I stay up a ways, but if you want to see closer, just use your fingers and zoom in. Now you can't, I don't know that you can do that on your TV. I don't think you can. So I'm going to just take it in just a little bit to see if that helps. So what I've done here is I've put out all the die cut pieces that I use to put the basic tag together, okay? And if you go to my previous video, I show you the die sets that are involved. I have them all linked in my Saturday Morning Makes episode, which is episode 23 of 2024. It's the video right before this one. And so I show you all the die sets, and on here, I'm going to actually put it together. I also show you the stamp sets that I used and the face stamps. And these smaller faces, of course, I got from my Jill's PK3000 stamp set, which is a favorites assortment. But there are so many beautiful face stamps in Kathy's store, and there's also some new ones coming out for Christmas in July in a few weeks. So lots available, but they're on sale this weekend. So if you don't own a set and you need to purchase some face stamps, buy them before midnight tonight, because they're on sale for 30% off. Whatever the price is, some of them are already on sale, but she's marked the entire website an additional 30% off, a big sale. She's calling it the Summer Flash Splash Sale. So be sure, if you do need a set, buy it before midnight tonight, and you'll get over a 30% savings if it's also already on sale. So let's dive in. So you're going to cut your pieces, and you have, I like to layer a white piece onto the back of my tags. So that's why you see the white pieces here. They're going to go onto the back of here. So let's start by just doing that. So all I've done so far is I've stamped a face on there and added the little eyeglasses. And now I'm going to just go ahead and add some glue so that I can glue the two pieces together. So I'm going to put the white cup onto here and line those up really closely. Oops, make sure they're lined up perfectly. And you might have to fiddle with them a little bit. when the glue is wet. Make sure that it lines up just right, and then let it dry. Okay, so that one's lined up, and now we're going to also glue this. Now on these ones, I like to glue the stitched side of the white die cut back to back so that the stitching does show in the back. You can't do that with the cups because of the handle, just so you're aware, but I do it with these because I can. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this one. All right. And then I will line this up just like I did with the cup and make sure that they are perfectly lined up. And then once they're lined up perfectly, you can let them dry. Oops, this one's moving. And you might have to hold it for a few seconds if the glue doesn't dry right away, okay? You don't want it to move around on you and end up showing, having them not be lined up. So we have that done. I think if I had to do this over again, I would glue the glasses on last. But since I already glued them, it makes things a little bit harder to do as far as cheeks go and different things. So I think if I had it to do over again, I would do it slightly different. But I am going to add a little bit of pink in here. All right, just so that I have the illusion of some cheeks. And I don't mind if it goes up into the area of the glasses. It's okay with me. So we'll just give it a little bit of pink. And then I'm going to also, let me close up my glue here so it doesn't dry out. Then I'm also going to take a white gel pen, if I can find one here. I think I put it away. Let's see if this one works. Close up my ink. The cheek color I used was Distress Ink Victorian Velvet, but you can use any pink, or you can even use a pink Copic marker. Okay, and I am just going to dot the eyes, okay, with my glue pen, or my white gel pen rather, and I'm going to add some little lines around the mouth and under the nose and where the eyebrows come up, just to give it a little bit more definition. And then I'm going to put some dots for the cheeks, like so, so that the face kind of comes together a little bit more. Okay, and now that our glue is dried, I'm also going to take some Distress Ink Vintage Photo, and I am going to just do a little bit of inking around my teacup. And this just gives it some definition, kind of makes it look all gingery, which, you know, I love my gingers. And the whole idea of this teacup when I originally did it was to make it look like a gingerbread teacup. Back in the day when I originally first made these tags, I used chipboard, and I wanted them to kind of look gingerish, if you will. So I had inked them. So I'm just taking the Vintage Photo Distress Ink, and I'm giving a darker cast, if you will. Oops, this one still isn't dry all the way. I should have used my Tombow Mono because it dries so fast. I usually do when I'm assembling, but this is such a small tag. Okay, so I have my inking done. Let's close up this. That's just my Vintage Photo Distress Ink and a dauber. Okay, so these pieces, this was the little piece that came with that snowman set. Now, if you have a sloped scallop piece from another set, you could use that. This is just what I had, so I used it, and this is from the Snow Girl die set from My Creative Time. And I cut off one little piece of it before adhering it on the smaller tag. On the large tag, you're going to use the entire scallop piece. So you can see on the large tag, I glued the whole scallop piece on, okay? But on this one, you have to cut it down in order to have it fit the smaller teacup. So I'm just going to glue this little piece in, or actually, you know what? Let's hold on a second. I usually glue this first. So I usually glue this little piece of coffee or hot cocoa. It could be either one, you guys. Oops. And I do color it so that it is a darker color like coffee or cocoa. with an E44 clay marker, but you could use whatever color you want to, you know, make it your coffee or cocoa. You could use a lighter color if you want more brown tone, but this is the one that I picked to use today. I happen to know it has lots of ink in it. So I'll do a second coat on this side too. So I just colored that in, and now I'm gonna really quickly, I'm gonna use my Tombow glue because it dries so fast. And we'll just put a little bit of glue. Don't need much. And we're just gonna tuck this at the top of the cup. And then we're gonna take our little scallop piece, and I hope my head's not in the way. It's always hard filming tutorials. And we're gonna put that right on the cup. So that's what it looks like now. It's got this little scallop piece and the cocoa or coffee there. And then depending on what you wanna do, if you want it to make it into a hot cocoa, you can cut 3 little marshmallows out of white paper and then just ink them up and add them to the tag. I'm going to make this one into just some hot coffee. And so I'm going to give it some latte art. And I'm just going to make a little oval going out. Okay. So, and you could do it, you know, more elaborately if you want to, but I'm just going to go like that. So we have our little latte art in there for our hot coffee. And then this little piece goes at the base. Whoops, where did it go? Goes at the base of the cup. And this is, again, a die set in that tea time. It's one of the dies in the tea time set, and it's this little stitched piece. And we're going to put that down at the bottom of the cup. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the back, and this just sits down at the base of the teacup. So we're just going to glue that in place. All right. So that's what we have so far. And then this piece, of course, that I didn't need from cutting that down is going to go in the garbage. And next, we're going to glue the little teacup onto the saucer, okay? So I just add a little bit of glue to the top of my saucer right here. And we're just gonna take, ooh, this got a little bit dirty on the back. So you could reline that with a clean piece, but for the sake of the video, I'm not going to. So then you're just gonna put this on here. Oops, there we go. And let that dry. And then the last thing we're going to do to complete the tag before we decorate it is just do the spoon. So I have the spoon cut out in craft cardstock and then also in silver cardstock. And I'm just going to glue the silver one on top of the craft one. And that just gives it more stability, a little thickness, if you will. So we'll just put a little bit of glue here and glue these together. These little ones are just so darn cute. And this one that I am putting together, of course, is the smaller size. Okay, it's the smaller size, and you can compare it to the bigger size. So then once you've got your spoon glued, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to where the spoon piece is at the bottom, and then a little bit on the handle too. And we'll glue this down. And you could do it different ways. I mean, if you wanted to, you could cut a slit in here and insert it in. But what I like to do is make it look like it's already been used. And I just glue it down at the bottom here. So you'll hold that in place until it dries. And there you have the little spoon. And then now on the bigger ones, I added, you know, a little cookie. So this was like a little tree cookie. But on the smaller ones, I don't have a teeny tiny cookie die. So you could hand cut like a little tiny cookie out by hand and add it, or see if you have, I think on one of them, Well, this is still pretty big. This is the bigger size, and it has a little snowflake cookie. But you might have a tiny snowflake in your stash, and you could do a little snowflake cookie on these. I probably do have a tiny snowflake somewhere. But for the purposes of this tag with the little glasses on and everything, I just think these are adorable. They're so tiny and sweet. Imagine hanging this on a Christmas tree at Christmas time. And so these are the smaller ones. This one just needs a tie added and a piece of holly. And then these are the bigger ones. So, and for the hollies, did I bring them in here? I did. I think they're over here. Let's see if I can grab something. So you can do, you could certainly put a little bow on here and make it a little girl, you know, a girl, or you can add the holly, which I like adding the holly just because it adds that touch of green. And since these are for Christmas gifts, I just think it's fun to have the red and green added. So I'm just going to do this on this one. Just put a little bit of holly. And then the only thing this needs now is a little piece of twine to tie it closed. And I use all sorts of things to tie with. I happen to have this red embroidery floss on my desk. So I'm going to use that. And I just make a tie, and I usually do the tie before the holly. So I'm going to lift this off for a minute and put it on my craft mat and do my tie first. So I just stick it through here and pull it through, and then I pull the whole thing through the center of the opening, and then I pull it tight, and then I tie a knot. And the reason I tie the knot is because you can use your awl for this. If you want your knot to be down at the bottom, you can leave that in till the end, and it'll tie it really tightly at the base, if you will. Just by using that, it helps pull the knot all the way down to the base. And then I just tighten it, okay? And that keeps the tie from falling off on the gift, okay? Because sometimes these loosen and they want to fall off. So if you put that knot in there, that keeps it from getting lost, if you will. So then you can put this on here, and you have such a sweet little Christmas tag. And the last thing I would do would be to tie something onto the end, like a little happy hot cocoa season, or one of my favorite tags are the sentiment tags from Lily of the Valley. And I think I tied a Lily of the Valley tag onto one of these, yeah. So you could get one of these little tags from Lily of the Valley, and you could tie that on just to add another little detail up at the top of the tag, and then add a jingle bell too. So that is the tutorial for these tags. I think it's so fun to make them in different ways. You could certainly also make these for Halloween by just doing an orange teacup and then putting a pumpkin face on and doing some shaded lines or something. I think these could be made for any holiday of the year pretty much. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I hope it helps you if you're trying to make these tags for Christmas time or for any holiday or season of the year. And I appreciate you guys joining me for Christmas Makes 2024. And I hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, if you're looking for the products I use to make these, go back to episode 23 of 2024 of my Saturday morning makes for year 4, and you will find out which stamps and dies I use to create these. All right, thank you, you guys. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Bye now.